Ah. Oh, there we are. Hello, hello. Check, check, check. Okay, how's this? Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. And so begins the piping ceremony for the 2017 Triangle Curling Mixed Doubles Bonspiel. to the Piper. As we make our opening handshakes to kick off the finals for the 2017 Triangle Curling Mixed Doubles Bonspiel. Games are just about to get underway here. We'll go ahead and introduce our teams, introduce the events, and our clubs that are participating in just a few minutes. Opening practice slides, starting rocks getting into place here. Just finishing up our tweets and our Facebook posts, getting the stream out there, and we'll be with you in just a minute.
Yeah.
Get our names put in here for the various events, as well as introduce our teams at the same time and the events they're playing in. So let's start over on sheet A, and we'll go through them A, B, C, D. All right, so obviously these names are not correct. I will be fixing those right now. So on sheet A, we have the 4th event final game. And throwing the Red Rocks, we have a team from Triangle Curling Club. And that is Nadine Matsunaga and Tom Furia. And they are playing against the free agent team from Greensboro, which is Kim and Di Hicks. Once again, this is the 4th event finals. These are both the losing teams of the A semifinals. All right, over on sheet B, which will be our featured sheet for this draw, we have the A event finals, otherwise known as the 1st event. So let me go ahead and put those names in for you. Throwing the Red Rocks, we have a team from Broomstones, and this is Nicole Vassar and Sam Williams. And throwing the Yellow Rocks, a team from Four Seasons Curling Club, Kirsten McKeown, I think McKeown. I am sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correct. And Gabriel Nickel. And they are throwing those Yellow Rocks. Over on sheet C, we are showing the 2nd event finals. And these are all teams that lost their first game, but won every game after that. So let's go ahead and put their names in. Throwing the Yellow Rocks, we have another team from Broomstones. This is Paul and Karen Marseglia. And throwing the Red Rocks, a combined team from Charlotte and Triangle. This is Abby Morrison and Kristen Clark. Last but not least, on sheet D, we have the 3rd event finals. Throwing the Yellow Rocks for the 3rd event, we have a team from Potomac. This is Eli Clausen and Catherine Goranova. And throwing the Red Rocks is Triangle's own Team Jackson, Kathy and Murray Jackson.
So I'm like 40?
All right, so we're going to swap over to our featured sheet. This is sheet B, of course, showing the 1st event finals. Looks like Team Williams from Broomstones won the coin toss, so they're going to take hammer, also take the rock in the back of the 4-foot, and team. I'm going to go with Four Seasons. We'll call them Four Seasons and Broomstones, so we don't have to deal with having 2 last names. So Team Four Seasons looks like they had a good start to this end and managed to get one well within the 4-foot, pretty well guarded. So getting 2 for Team Broomstones is going to be a little tricky in this situation with that rock so close to the button from Four Seasons team. We'll see what they go for here.
A lot of room.
Yellow's still sitting 1. Down to the final rock of the end. And all we can do at this point is hope for a draw for 1 for Team Broomstones. They did choose to come around the left side. There's not going to be enough curl to get in for shot. So that will be a steal of 1 to start off the finals here on sheet B. Steal of 1 for Team Four Seasons, who will begin the next end. Let's go ahead and take a look at everybody else. Move the camera down for you on the bottom half.
Yep.
So we can get a good look at the rest of the sheets here. Just as a reminder, sheet A on the left on the top half of your screen is going to be a triangle team, which is red versus the free agent team throwing yellow rocks. And then of course sheet B, our featured event, the A event. Williams at Broomstones against Four Seasons, Nickel and McCone. And I did not put a slash in that, so let me go ahead and fix that. And then on sheet C, we've got Charlotte and Triangle throwing the red rocks, which is Morris and Clark, and then throwing the yellow rocks, another team from Broomstones, the Marseglia team. And it looks like they started out with a point. And on sheet D we have the Jacksons from Triangle and the Potomac team, Clausen and Goranova. Alright, so we'll head back over to our feature sheet. And so it looks like Four Seasons managed to make a really nice freeze to the placed rock with their first one, and then I just saw Team Broomstones throw their first one through. I'm not sure that, I'm sure that was not intentional. Ice can be a little bit fast these days, especially with it warming up a little bit outside. And you know, it's the end after, it's after the first end now, so you know the main lines have been swept a little bit. This one's looking a little heavy too, quite heavy. It's going to go out the backside. And that will give Broomstone's team another chance to cover the pin here. It's going to be real tricky getting that yellow out if they want to go for 2. But if you want to avoid the steal, I think you have to go for that pin. better. It's coming in nicely. Line is good. Needs to curl a little bit more. But they do manage to get shot out of it with the edge of that rock covering the pin.
Even if it's a guard, that's okay. Are we shot or are they shot?
The answer is they are shot. Of course, they cannot hear me, though. I've totally forgotten to start the timer, which is strange, so let me go ahead and do that. I'm supposed to add an extra 10 minutes, so I think we're good. Timer started. We got 1 hour, 28 minutes, and 50 seconds on the clock, and all teams must have started the 8th end by the time runs to 0. So 100 minutes on the clock for these final games. Extra end for any ties that happen after 8. So Brimstone's Rock still wedged in there. Of course, they would like to take 2 having hammer, but this is mixed doubles. And sometimes that's not as easy as you would like it to be. Not quite as straightforward as it is with I guess normal curling? What do you call that? Normal curling. 4-on-4. Standard curling. So there is an opportunity here now. The pin is, I guess, technically open. It's the Four Seasons shot right now. So one thing they could do is throw at the red on the left side, the top red, and send that shot rock back and potentially double out with the placed stone that was there at the beginning of the end. And their other option is to draw in to be shot, or very close to shot. To me, it looks like he's aiming for the draw. I can't quite tell. No, he's got his other turn out, so maybe... I'm just not quite sure. Okay, so he's throwing a guard. This will make getting 2 more difficult for Brimstones. Really nice shot there. So they want to protect their 1 at this point, because there is a shot there for Four Seasons to come in and punch out the shot rock and then be sitting 2. And they want to take that away. They want to protect their 1 and tie this game up after 2 ends. So the rock came in a little deeper than they were hoping. They are definitely looking at that red, yellow, red double combo, which will leave them sitting 2 if my math is correct. Also, if they make the shot. The other thing they could do is draw behind that right guard, which maybe it looks like that's what they decided on.
You can see also what it's doing out
Still early in the game, no reason to get crazy at this point.
Yeah. I think they slugged it maybe. What I don't want to do is take the guard. So I think they slugged it.
Nicole off with her shot. Line looks good. Well, it's definitely around the guard, but might be a little too wide for what they were trying to do. So that gives Broomstones a chance to get 2. They do have last rock in this end, and they're setting that up right now. So they have the chance to either draw for 2, which I think would be a little trickier than their other option, which is a little bit of an in-off from the yellow that was just thrown by Nicole from Four Seasons. So let me bust out this whiteboard real quick so I can draw on the screen for you. Okay. Oh, I got a whiteboard now. So, like I said, one option is the draw, but you have to be pretty good on that draw. You can, you do have backing, and that would be fine to use, I believe, although this yellow is very close here. So another option is the in-off, come a little bit heavier, and tick off that rock, and sit right there. We'll see what they go for. This is Sam Williams with last rock of the second end in the first event finals. It's looking a little narrow, quite a bit narrow actually. So that's going to leave one for Broomstones to tie this game up after 2 ends. Go ahead and take a look at the rest of our games going on here. So it looks like every single sheet in the first end was just a score of 1. So all forces in that first end, and teams looks like are finishing up or have just finished up their second end, and we have a couple setting up for the third end. Whereas sheet C is already a rock or so, 1 rock into the third end. Now this might be a little counterintuitive when you're looking at this view, so let me just explain. On the top, we have sheets from left to right, A, B, C, and D. But on the bottom, it's in the reverse order. So on the left, you have sheet D, and then sheet C, B, and A. So just so you don't get confused with that. You know what? That's not even true. They mirrored this. Somebody hit the mirror button. So ignore everything I just said. We actually do have A, B, C, D, all in the same order. All right. So let's hop back over to sheet B. See how this third end turns out. Now I want you to notice our houses. One of them is situated so that we can read Triangle Curling Club of North Carolina. The other one is situated so that it's upside down. That was a mistake. Sorry about that. So a couple rocks into this third end here, and it looks like Broomstone's lead shot came up a little bit short, and that allowed Four Seasons to come in and sit second and also dominate that pin. It's a pretty important position, so Broomstone's going to try to come in and sit on that. They need to sweep it. It looks a little light to me, just like the first one, and it is over curling a tad. Now remember, in the mixed doubles format, you are not allowed to hit anything, whether it's your own rock, whether it's in the house or free guard zone. You're not allowed to hit anything until the fourth thrown rock. And that's interesting because this is going to be the first rock of the second player on the team that has hammer. Whereas in standard curling, the team without hammer is the first team that's allowed to do a hit. At least until maybe there's a 5-rock free guard zone rule enacted in regular curling. But we'll see about that. So Broomstone's second rock came in actually pretty nice. They've got not a lot of space between their two rocks, and one of them is situated pretty well to potentially double out the two yellows that are sitting number 1 and 3 at the right now. So we see Gabriel Nickel off with his second rock. Not being swept might be a little heavy, but I think it's good. It might over curl. I'm just trying to think of bad things that could happen, but looks like a very nice rock. Sits right on that button to count for second shot. Now there looks like there is even a triple available. If you can see enough of that yellow past the guard, I don't know if that you can do that with weight though. So that looks like what they might be going for here. Maybe a little wide here. This is not going to curl enough. This is going to flash right by. And this will give a very important opportunity to Four Seasons to perhaps guard up this line. Early sweeping for this rock. It's looking pretty nice. It's going to be about a 2 or 3 guard, I think. Perfectly guarding that potential triple that was there. So now Broomstone's has a couple of options. They could get rid of the guard, but I think they're gonna try and run back their red here that's biting the 8-foot. Whether or not there is a triple here, maybe with some nuclear weight, but I don't think that's what they're going for. That was a really nice shot. They're looking at to see who is actually 1, 2, and 3 at the time. And if you were to ask me, I'd say let's take a. Well, I don't think we can take a close look, unfortunately. I would like to zoom in, but we're not TSN. Maybe next year we'll be able to zoom in on that button. I would say, though, looking at it, yellow is 1 and 2. See just how close these rocks are piled around in the center there. Okay, 4 seasons off. They're second to last rock. They need it to curl a little bit more. They're trying to guard up this line and take away more of that run back that Broomstones has available. And it's going to turn out to be a nice guard, maybe over curled a tad, but I think it does the job quite nicely. Broomstones looking at their options here. Okay, quick update while they're taking a look at that. Fix the bottom view there. So we can get a quick update on scores here. Looks like on sheet A, Hicks has 2-1. On sheet C, a steal of 1 from Marseglia to make it 2-0. And on sheet D, it was a score of 4 for Kloss and Goranova over Jackson, 4-1. Okay. So on sheet B, Broomstones ready to throw their rock here. And this is their last rock without hammer. It's not curling enough, so they're going to go ahead and peel that guard. So Four Seasons trying to see if they can take 3 with this setup. They're still not quite sure who is shot, though, so maybe maybe they see it a little differently than I do. Definitely didn't look like they're trying to throw it away, but it is light. It's not going to do anything, so now they're going to have to either measure or come to an agreement on which is shot and which is second. I think they both agreed that shot rock is Four Seasons Yellow Rock. And now they're looking at it for 2. They might need to get out the measuring device. We have 2 different styles of measuring device here at the Triangle Curling Club, and it looks like they have made that decision without either one of them. We recently got the Laser Rock measuring devices, which are pretty neat, good for a quick measure. They're easy to move around and not disturb other people. And then we have the traditional style long arm with a caliper on the end. Better for more accurate measures that come down to micrometers instead of millimeters. Go ahead and show the 8 houses again. It looks like I've lost a camera feed, so I'll try to get that back. For now, let me just move the PTZ for you so you can see all the scoreboards. Of course, they are upside down because, well, like I said, this is mirrored, so maybe you need to be on this view for that. There you go. So, sheet A, B, C, D, all in a row, as you can see. We're going to try to get that other camera view back online. So for now, just back to sheet B. Going into the 4th end after that, Four Seasons took their 2 with hammer in the 2nd end to leave it 3-1, favoring the Four Seasons team.
You're like top 4. Quick, less ice. The guard is over. That red is clearly exposed. We have to get rid of it. You can't later. Get a little less. The center guard's over on the left side. What's the line in yellow? I know, I just took the opposite. I just don't know what
I wasn't watching, but it looks like Brimstone's was a little heavy with their first rock. It was through the house, and so we have Four Seasons' second rock coming in. Now going to sit shot after tapping back the red rock, but the center is still completely open. The top of the 4-foot is completely open, and that's the important thing. So Brimstone's off with their second rock. It is starting to smell really good here in the Triangle Curling Club. We have our Spiel cook, chef, I should say, Ian Gillespie, who is taking care of all of the meals for us, making something different every lunch and dinner, as well as breakfast this morning, doing a fantastic job. One of the things we pride ourselves on here for our Bonspiels is the quality of our meals, as well as our draw snacks. So if you've never been to a triangle curling spiel, you should look forward to some good food when you come out.
Say that. Hold the ice really tight, and if we crash, we crash. Good.
We just had the Four Seasons rock come down and take the shot position. His end is starting to look more like a mixed doubles end with a whole bunch of rocks in the back of the forefoot. Sam calling backline weight for Nicole. They want to do something about shot here, but it looks a little wide. That is not going to curl with fast enough with that kind of weight. So I think they're going to get a piece of the yellow, but it's not going to help them. You know, it looks like Four Seasons just trying to guard that line. They're more than okay with a steal here, being up by 2 without hammer. I still think there's a shot here, just a draw. I'm quite sure there is. The question is getting the right line and the right weight. You can't be heavy, because you got to get that curl, and obviously you can't be light. They're going to have to sweep that to get it by the guard. Definitely this side is a little bit swingier than the other one. But the rock does look light. Really nice line. Just came up a little bit short. And Four Seasons quickly going to say, we're guarding that side too. No, you may not come in.
Yeah, mainly it's just the line here. The two are good. Yeah. Yeah, and then looks like tight, I'll back it up.
Getting Kirsten off with her last rock. Just going for the guard here. Looks like Gabriel is going for some directional sweeping, trying to keep it from over curling. It's going to tap the red back a little bit, but I believe they've still accomplished plan A, which is to guard up that line. There's no hole for Broomstones to come in. So they might be looking at the run back double. And this will be Sam's last rock. Calling for a line sweep, but didn't quite make it out to the target. Oh, that was hammer. I saw another rock down there and thought there was one more. I think that belonged to the other sheet. So, we did have another steal of one for the Four Seasons team. Let's go ahead and get an update on our sheets here. So we see Team Hicks up by 3, 4-1 against the Triangle team in the D event finals. And then on sheet C, looks like they just finished their 4th end. So I didn't quite catch how many it was. I think it was 1 yellow, though. We'll see if that's correct. Morrison Clark managed to score 1 in the 3rd end, but I think it's a 2-point game right now. We'll see in just a minute. And then over on sheet C was the B event finals, and that is, yeah, B event finals. And sheet D is the C event finals. And over on sheet C, the Potomac team, Clausen and Goranova, stole another one in the 3rd end to be up by 4, 5-1.
Good. Close. Nope. Wait on. That's great. Wait on. Oh, yep.
So back to our feature sheet in the first event finals. We see that Four Seasons once again has their draw weight down and came in and had a nice sit on top of Broomstone's placed rock. And it looks like they're still shot after Broomstones came in as well and knocked some things around, but I see that the yellow rock is biting a little bit more of the button than the red rock. The button is still open, and so Four Seasons has a chance to control that area with this next shot. No takeouts may be thrown yet. There needs the next rock will be the first takeout rock if they want to go that route. Gabriel Nickel throwing 2-3-4 here. No sweeping yet. Looks like it is looking pretty good. Needs to curl a little bit more, but it's going to tap back red and be sitting 2 here. So we got 2 for the Four Seasons teams. Just to confirm for you, on sheet C, that was yellow taking 1 in the 4th end, so the current score is 3-1 on sheet C, which is the second event finals, and that is the Broomstones team, Marseglia, over the Charlotte and Triangle team, Morrison and Clark. Okay, Broomstones with their second rock, I believe, trying to come in and control that button area, but just coming up a bit short once again. It's in a place that can potentially be promoted if they manage to get the weight down and the line down to come right around that guard. The line was really good, clearly. But I wonder if Four Seasons is now saying, you know what, we're sitting 2. It's time to start clogging things up and throw guards.
Yeah, because they come nose
Yes,
on that.
yes, 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 yes. Yes, hard.
With nobody holding the broom, it's really hard to know what shots are being thrown until they actually get thrown. So we'll see what Gabriel does here. I'm not sure that's exactly where they wanted it. Maybe a little bit deeper than they cared to have it. That does give Broomstones a chance to raise the yellow that was just thrown, and actually run it back onto the red. Of course, that's a tough shot. And they're electing to go for the draw right now. I'm not sure they're going to be able to manage that with the red rock being so close to the 4-foot. Even with perfect weight and perfect line, it's still going to be exposed.
Yep, yep. Yep.
And I don't think they can get shot out of it. But this is looking like a nice rock. Maybe it'll prove me wrong if it manages to get around that red. Just a little bit of a tick. And they may have cut down Four Seasons to just 1. It's really hard to tell. If I were a betting man, I'd say Four Seasons still got 2 out of that. Taking a closer look here. Especially from this angle, it looks like 2 yellow. Okay, Gabriel up once again.
Sometimes he changes his mind in one of those spots. He goes all the way back to the start.
Wait, stay back, man.
Yes, line.
It's like back 4, wait. Back 4. Back 4, wait.
Whoa. Whoa. Wait.
Okay, and a nice guard by Gabriel. Broomstones really needs to... Yeah, it looks like they might be looking at that run back. Now, I'm surprised they're going for it on this side. They can, of course, see all of the yellow one that was just thrown if they want to try to run it back onto the red. However, I think the other yellow would be a higher shot percentage. Of course, the benefit of this is if you miss it, you potentially open it up more. Nice try. Just hit it a little too thin to have the yellow run right behind the red and not touch it. So I think Broomstones will be throwing up a similar shot for, I believe, their last rock. So Kirsten setting up for her last rock here in the 5th end of the A event finals.
Definitely this. Yeah.
It's off. There's no sweeping. It might be a tad heavy.
Should stop. Should be okay.
I don't know if there's a hole there. Not quite sure what shot Broomstones is going for. I still think their best bet is to run back the rock that's just biting the 12-foot, that yellow, and try to promote the red onto the button. I don't think you get 2 out of it, unfortunately, no matter what you do, no matter how perfect the shot is. I suppose you could get a little bit of a kiss on the second shot, yellow, which I'm going to call a second shot, but I could be wrong on that. And then actually hit out the shot rock. But that's I don't think that's even there. I mean, it's probably there, but come on now, let's be realistic. Sam Williams getting ready to throw the last rock of the 5th end. Now it's looking a little wide. I think it's going to be right on that yellow. Although I'm not sure what he was going for exactly. So that leaves it a clear 2 for Four Seasons team to increase their lead further by another 2. So it's now going to be 6-1 Four Seasons over Broomstones. Let's go ahead and check in the rest of our teams and scores here. Once again, let me check our camera again. Oh, it's back online, so that's fantastic. Let me change the bottom for you. This is not good. Give me 1 sec. Okay. Alright, so I gotta do this manually because I clicked the wrong button. Bear with me real quick. How's that looking? Okay. So we'll get a quick update for you here. Over on Sheet A, we have the D event finals. Looks like Team Hicks is up by 4 after 4 ends. They're finishing up their 5th end now. And so that score is 5-1, favoring Hicks. Of course, we just saw on sheet B, we have the A event finals going on, and Four Seasons lead has increased by 2 to leave it 6-1. Four Seasons. On sheet C, we have the B event finals. And it's a reasonably close game now with Team Morris and Clark taking 3 in the 5th end to be up by 1. And that is a team from Charlotte and Triangle. Morrison from Triangle, Clark from Charlotte. Over Marseglia from Broomstones. We have 2 Broomstones teams here in the finals. And then over on sheet D, we have the C event finals. And throwing the Red Rocks, we've got Team Jackson, and they are down, it looks like 2-5, I believe. Team Jackson from Triangle and Team Clausen and Goranova from Potomac up 5-2 over there.
I feel like I've been over, Carls. Attack.
All right, so over on sheet B, our feature sheet for this draw, it looks like they set up the power play at the beginning of this draw. So just in case you don't know, here's how the power play works. Once per game, each team is allowed to set up the power play at the beginning of an end. You must have hammer if you want to choose to do a power play. And like I said, you're allowed to do it once per game and not in an extra end. So the way the power play works is instead of putting your rock in the back of the forefoot and the opponent's rock as a perfect center guard, you get to put your rock between the 12-foot and the 8-foot. Just sitting on top of the center line where you see that red rock. I'll go ahead and get my whiteboard out and circle it. So that's where you get to place your own rock. And then the opponent's rock is a perfect corner guard to that. So there's a few different uses of power play. It could be an offensive move or a defensive move, depending on how you play it. Broomstones being down by 5 in the 6th end are choosing to use it offensively. Well, that was a nice shot. Came right by that guard. It's going to be a little deep, but still, I think, sitting for second shot. So the benefit here is it's easier to keep the center open with the power play because you don't have that center guard. You don't have the one in the back of the forefoot that everybody tries to draw to. We'll see what Four Seasons wants to do with this. They could go ahead and promote their one of their 2 center rocks up a little bit. You have a pretty wide margin of error there because the shot rocks, you know, just a full 8 would cut down the scoring area by quite a bit. You know, and they're probably on defense mode at this point, just trying to maintain their lead for the next 3 ends. So we'll see what Gabriel Nickel goes for. So they're not going for a promote here. They're just they got a nice little rub on that center guard rock, and they're going to be sitting shot with that behind protection. Really nice shot. That does just what they could have done by promoting. The center's still open, but it's going to be really hard to get to that shot rock to make your other two count. And you got to do it, though. Because you're down by 5. You got to either set it up or just go ahead and do it. And it looks like they're going for a setup here. If they sit on the shot rock, then they can come back later and hit it and pop that one out the back. Which is maybe a little bit easier than trying to draw around a guard with enough weight to tap it out of play. So good call there. Maybe a little bit of an overcurl. I think we're on the guard here, unfortunately.
What do you like? What do you like?
A little bit of a double in-off.
Let's draw this way.
Not quite shot, but sitting in a good position. Maybe they can come in and do a run back later. Power play just increases that that risk versus reward that you see so often in curling. You're going to have a lot of shots that could potentially net you a lot of points, but maybe a bit more difficult and more precise. Alright, so plenty of weight here, going for just a peel of that second shot rock. Giving Broomstones a second chance to go for that sit on the shot rock here to set that up for a pop out with their last rock. So there's 1 yellow left and 2 reds, so of course Broomstone's with hammer here. Getting so close to that guard, it's just the same kind of tick off. A little too much weight on that to stick around. Of course, interestingly now that shot rock is fully exposed, and Four Seasons will try to just guard that up, so Broomstones has a tough time doing anything with it.
Or the guard. I'm not sure which one I like better. You come on your neck, okay. Good.
Okay, a last rock for Broomstones. Being thrown by Kirsten McEwen. Goal here is to guard up the right side And it's going to come in to be sitting 2. You know, Broomstones needs to essentially hit double the 2 yellows out and stick around to take 3. Which they are discussing now. Bring me a cider.
Same way as the last one. Turkey hat. Turkey hat. You gotta go out another foot. You want to be over that way. Foot. Way up. Now, into my hip, down a little more.
All right, Sam Williams off with hammer in the 6th end. It's looking pretty close. Oh, it was a great try. It's going to be, I think, only 1 for Broomstones.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bring the score a little bit closer, 6-2, with only 2 ends left here in the A event finals. Let's go ahead and check in on the rest of our sheets here. So on sheet A, we have a pretty close game going on here. They're finishing up the 6th end right now, but it's a 1-point game, 5-4, favoring the Hicks team, free agents from Greensboro. Sheet B, of course, is our A event finals, and we're featuring that sheet. Looks like they're setting up the power play for the 7th end. Of course, this will be Four Seasons power play, and they will be using it defensively, which is interesting. We saw it one offensive power play and one defensive. Over on sheet C, they have just finished the 6th end. They're setting up the 7th, and they haven't posted the score yet. We'll see if they do that. So actually it was 2 yellows, so that brings Marseglia back in the lead, up by 1, 5-4.
Yep.
On sheet C, the B event finals. And on sheet D, looks like they still have not put up some scores. Still showing 5-2. We'll see if they do that. They are playing quite a bit slower than the other teams. Also setting up a power play is the Jackson team on sheet D, C event finals. Yeah, I don't know why sheet D is a full in behind everybody else. Perhaps they had a difficult measure or something like that. All right, once again, we float back over to sheet B to give you the A event finals. This is the 7th end getting underway here. We have a defensive power play set up by Team Four Seasons. And after the first couple of rocks, it looks like Shot Rock belongs to Four Seasons, and second is Broomstones. So they elected, the Four Seasons team elected to go ahead and split the house with their first rock. And I didn't see the two Broomstone rocks. One of them ended up at the back of the 8-foot, and the other one ended up as a pretty much a center guard.
Throwing me out, right? Out.
Okay, in Four Seasons, it's their second rock. It's the 4th rock of the end, so they are free and clear to take stuff out at this point. And that's what they're doing. Getting rid of this guard that potentially Broomstones could sit behind. And they're just going for a straight peel on that. It is going to jam, which is a little unfortunate. You know, you could try to do that shot 10 times and never make it, and then the one time you try not to do it, of course, you're going to jam. Thanks, Rob Young, for pointing out on sheet D. They were sitting 3 at the end of the 5th. Yellow was sitting 3, so that increases the team from Potomac's score by 3, and now it's, I guess, 8 to 2 on sheet D. That's the C event finals over Team Jackson from Triangle. Okay, and Broomstones replaced that guard that was peeled out. Sitting 1, Four Seasons with Shot Rock, but it's wide open. In fact, if Broomstones was able to hit that out and stick around, they would be sitting 4. So this power play, you know, we've seen it before. It can also backfire. Of course, Four Seasons does have the last rock advantage, and as long as they keep things clean and they can draw to that 4-foot, I don't think they have a whole lot to worry about.
If I get the red in the house, so be ready to sleep.
And not going for the peel on that guard for a second time, but instead they're looks like they tried to come and sit on the second shot rock, but ending up a little bit heavy. They're not going to be sitting for anything here. Well, I guess they outcount the biter in the front. So Broomstone's going to go ahead and go for the hit and roll, and that'll leave them sitting 3 if they make that perfectly. Sitting 3 with 2 of them perfectly guarded and 1 of them in the back. So curl a little bit more if they want to get that roll. Instead, it rolled the other way and actually came back and jammed on their what would now be third shot or second shot maybe. But they are still sitting 2. Broomstones with a split house. Of course, split house without hammer doesn't usually do you a whole lot of good.
I think that's the best call.
Okay, and Four Seasons throwing up a guard. Does cover a portion of the third shot rock in the 12 foot in the back. Broomstone's about to throw their last rock. Sweeping being encouraged by Sam here. So they're trying to sit 1, 2, and 3. Nice shot about half exposed. Not getting a whole lot of curl today. So Broomstones sitting 3 now, but four Seasons, they of course have hammer, and all they have to do is come around the guard and sit on the shot rock, and they're going to take their 1.
Close. Close. Where's? Yep. Hard. Hard.
It needs to curl. If weight is good, it doesn't really matter. It's looking a little heavy, but it did manage to curl, and that's going to be 1 for Four Seasons. Nice shot by Kirsten. All right, and they're going to set up the 7th end, or that would be the 8th end, so we're going to check in with the rest of our teams. A huge score in the 6th end by Team Hicks. Looks like a score of 5 in the 6th end for Team Hicks, so they're now up by 6 points over the Matsunaga Furia team from Triangle. Okay, and then sheet B, of course, is our feature sheet. It says Broomstones versus Four Seasons. Four Seasons up by 5 after 7 right now, so Broomstones wishing they could probably do another power play, but They've already taken that option. Over on sheet C, we have probably our closest game. It's the B event finals, so we'll switch to that as soon as we can. 1 point game. It's 5-4 favoring the Marseglia team, and looks like yellow is sitting with a bundle. And then over on sheet D, they're in the 6th end now. And of course it is 8-2 favoring the Clausen-Goranova team from Potomac Curling Club. Potomac, of course, curls near DC out of Laurel, Maryland. All right, so we're going to focus on sheet C for a little bit here. They did score 4 on sheet C, so it's 10-4 now. And that leaves Morrison and Clark to set up the power play. So they're going to need 6 points in these last 2 ends in order to tie. Unfortunately, none of our final event games are really close at this point. The closest game, in fact, is on our feature sheet in the A event, and that's 7-2 right now. So at least a 5-point game on every sheet. Okay, trying to come around that corner guard on the outside and just curling in a little too much, taking it, leaving not a bad shot though, leaving the shot rock exposed and putting up a center guard. Abby Morrison off with her first rock of the end. Abby curls out of a triangle, and she's going to split the house here. Needs to slow down. They're not sweeping. Looks like a little too much weight. And that's all the way out through the back.
Okay. Walkie. Okay, remember the last couple times you've been on this rock, you've been tight. Oh, I can't now, you're right. I suppose we haven't been flowing on this side of time. We've been on the other side, so maybe it's frosted up a little. Wait, right. You gotta go to the other side. Just come behind the willow. Yep.
And Paul Marseglia off with his first shot. Going for a pretty standard draw here behind the center guard that was just created out of the first shot, which was sort of like a tick shot. Once again, a little bit heavy. It's going to end up in the back of the 8-foot ring. Okay, Kristen Clark, couple of options here. They will be needing the points. If they come a little deep, they can tap the yellow back and be sitting 2. Of course, with the front of the house completely wide open.
Drums up here. What do you want me to do? Take the broom. room right here. Go to what here?
Okay, and that ends up in the center. Let's go ahead and do a quick check-in on Sheet B, which is the A-Event finals here.
Yeah.
So it looks like shot belongs to Four Seasons in the back of the forefoot, but it's got some backing as well. And the front of the house is pretty well junked up. There's a lot of stuff guarding that forefoot. There is a little bit of a hole there between the two yellows on the left. And that could allow Broomstones to come in and maybe, you know, it's possible that they get the yellow to, you know, tap it back a few inches so that the red to the right of that yellow in the forefoot outcounts. But, you know, they need whatever they can to score some points here because they've only got one in. This is their last in. All right, and Sheet C has gone ahead and shaken. So their game is over. And the victor was the Broomstones team, Marseglia, Paul and Karen, over the Triangle and Charlotte team, Abby, Morrison, and Kristen Clark. And also on Sheet A, featuring the D event, they have gone ahead and shaken once again, and that would be Kim and Di Hicks, the free agents from Greensboro, winning 10-4 at least over the team from Triangle, which was Nadine Matsunaga and Tom Furia. And our A event is complete once again, with Broomstones running out of rocks to win this game. So the victor here is the Four Seasons team, Kirsten McKeown and Gabriel Nickel, victorious over the Broomstones team, Nicole Vassar and Sam Williams. And that leaves us with one remaining game. So in the sixth end, actually, last time we checked in, it was 8-2. So in the sixth end, Team Jackson managed to take two, bringing the difference a little bit closer. It's only a 4-point game. It's 4-8 now. Of course, favoring the team from Potomac, which is Eli Clausen and Catherine Goranova from Potomac. So they're in their seventh end now, and definitely, you know, being down by 2 points in a mixed doubles, by 4 points in a mixed doubles game with 2 ends left is definitely something you can come back from, even with the other team playing defense. So we'll see what happens here. Of course, you know, Potomac sitting 3. Murray Jackson off with his rock. Okay, we have Catherine Goranova holding the broom for Eli. It looks like they are calling a takeout here. Team Jackson is hoping for the jam. If he manages to hold it, it'll be okay. And he does. Leaving yellow sitting still 3, I believe. Kathy entering the hack. Murray Jackson holding broom. Murray saying it looks good, weight only. Kathy keeping it clean. Saying weight only, but it looks like it's too heavy and it's not going to curl enough. That's definitely hack weight or so. Maybe back line. And that's going to leave 2 for Team Clausen Goranova from Potomac Curling Club. And they're going to go ahead and shake here. And that wraps things up for the finals at the Triangle Curling Club 2017 Mixed Doubles Bonspiel. Real quick, go over our winners. So, of course, on Sheet A, we had the D-Event Finals, and the winners were Kim and Di Hicks from Greensboro. They're free agents. They have no curling club affiliation. And then on Sheet C, we had our B-Event Finals, and the Broomstones team, Paul Marseglia and Karen Marseglia, victorious in the B event. And then on Sheet D, we had the Potomac team, Eli Clausen, Catherine Goranova, victorious over the Triangle runners-up, Kathy and Murray Jackson. And then our A event final winners were the Four Seasons Curling Club, Kirsten McKeown and Gabriel Nickel over Broomstones Nicole Vassar and Sam Williams. Excellent curling, good curling. Thank you for tuning in and watching, and we look forward to seeing you here at some point, or if not, check back on our stream for our next Bonspiel, which is going to be hosted in February, which is the USWCA National Bonspiel. It's a women's event. We'll have a lot of stuff going on then, and that happens in February. So until then, thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.